Thank you to iValue team. And I'm sorry I'm between you and the drink. Okay, I know you are all really wanting to get rid of this whole exercise and start to enjoy this evening. I will take some time. First of all, maybe let me start asking you with a question. How many networking OEM products does iValue sell? One, two. Which are they? Arista? That's all? Okay. I was also thinking it is only Arista, but I realized you also have Alcatel. Just now, Ankit was telling me. However, however, there is a little bit of a difference. We don't cut across each other. We don't see Alcatel much. They are fading off to a large extent, and we are really zooming up. So there is a huge lot of difference. We are there in the cloud. We are there in the enterprise segment. I don't think that kind of a focus. They are more on the telco side, is what I understand. So that being the case, this effort in the next, I have been given 20 minutes, and I will try to limit it as much as possible. But this is an effort to introduce you to Arista. How many of you over here are sales? Can you raise your hand? Where is Anupam? I can't see. He's there? My champion here, where is he? Ankit, Anupam is, where is Ankit? Ankit, Anupam is not there. Come on. How many of you have positioned Arista? Where? LIC. Yes, bank. Okay. Right. Anybody else has attempted? iValue. Right. Your own iValue. Great. You use your in-house network is on Arista, okay? And then I know Arun has positioned. Arun, where is Arun? Kerala. He was here. He has also left. Okay, those people who have left, I think already know about Arista. So this is an effort to those others who doesn't know about Arista. And you need to remember that this is the product what you have, which can scale you from the current 2,000 crore what you are hitting. I was just talking to Ankit about it, that from 1,400 you move to 2,000, and from 2,000 you are still going up. So let me start my presentation. So your accelerator, what you want, the zooming what you are showing here, if you want to achieve that, one product portfolio which you will have to focus very keenly. What Sunil says, what Srikanth says, is this product, which is Arista. So let me first take you through the background of Arista. Many of you be very open. Don't be hesitant in telling that we really didn't know about Arista. There is a reason behind it. Arista is not a company which is a channel-driven company. Arista's philosophy is more towards account management, create the account into a level where they are compelled or they really like the product and move forward with Arista, and the channel follows with it. That being the case, the spread, we are not thin. We have not like an HP or a Cisco where all the partners go and talk about us and we get into each look and corner or an SP Road or a Ritchie Street, wherever you go, you don't see an Arista product. So that way the brand associated, you will not see all across because we are not more commoditized. So that is where, but still what you need to understand about this company. Our market cap today is 40 billion, and this would have come down today to 43 or something, and it was touching 50 billion. Now that being said, can you tell me what is the market cap of HPE? I'm not asking Aruba. I'm asking Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Any guess? Take the phone and Google. Any guess? 80? Wrong? Any guesses? Wild guess 80. Next number. You didn't Google now? Sorry, I can't hear you. But anyway, in the interest of time, they are 18 to 19 billion. Okay? We are 40, 43 right now. It is expected to touch 50. That means we are double the size of an HPE overall. All right? A Juniper is 13 billion. A Citrix is 9 billion. So you should know the company, what you are dealing with. We are not small. We are quite big. We are capable enough to take over many other companies today. Right? Then, coming to the product, It started in 2008. I will come into this. The IPO was in 2014, and today we are a $5 billion company. It is shown over here, 4 billion in the top. 4.5 billion is what we revenued last year, with an order booking of somewhere close to 6.6 billion, which means that we had unexecuted order booking on our hand of 2 billion, starting with such a healthy pipeline. And whatever we booked again in the year, even if you book a 4 billion, we touch a total of another 6 billion, which will be a growth over the past year. So after Cisco, the only networking company which is crossing 5 billion is Arista. All right? We are there in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. We are there in the Forrester Wave Leader. And these three people, the Fortune 500s, you name the big companies. I'll talk about the names. Before that, let me talk about these folks. This is our CEO, an Indian from Chennai, and Jayashree, Andy, and Ken Duda are the three main figures. Now, let me take a few minutes to tell you a story about how this company was formed. Ken Duda was the strategist with Cisco. All right, and Cisco, at that time, there was an RFP which was floated for this cloud companies who wanted 100 gig ports at a very cheap $10 kind of prices. Now, this is as per John Chambers not at all possible, and he just killed that RFP. He said nobody can quote for it. That is when the strategist team of Ken Duda asked for a time with John and presented him that there is a possibility to meet these expectations if you change some designs as well as some changes in your operating system. Now that presentation was so compelling that everybody expected John Chambers will agree to that and move forward with it. But John killed that initiative and said that I cannot invest on this. As a leader, it was very correct. He said that because I have already invested on a lot of gears, a lot of ASICs, which is on Catalyst and Nexus. Unless I am able to recover those money, what I have invested, I will not be able to allow you to jump into the new designs. Now, these guys who are more engineers and architects were very upset about it. They resigned from Cisco, started a new company, and that company's name was Arastra. Okay? That Arastra was funded by Andy, whom you can see over here. Now, this Andy is the guy who started Sun Microsystems. He has a history. He's the guy who gave the seed capital for Google. And he's still there in our board. And he is the guy who said, this company is going to rock. And he said this will happen. And he invested the 100 million on this, along with his another colleague. I forgot his name. He is no more in the company now. And then in the next 1 year down, around 3-4 years down, he hired Jayashree. And Jayashree was the switching brain on the sales side with Cisco. Now, Jayashree came over here. Till Jayashree came, we were on a stealth mode. And that is when she came on 2008. She first asked us to go on a white boxing, what you say it as, the brand is not there, we give our operating system, and then further it is built on a hardware and they use it. Then on 2014 till it was a small company of 100 million, 200 million, any given point of time, any question asked to Cisco, Cisco used to ridicule it by saying that anytime we will finish them off. We can just buy it and finish them off. There is nothing. That story didn't run for long. In 2014, it went into IPO, and after that, the fastest company to reach 1 billion, before even better than Google, is Arista. Okay, and today in 2023, we are touching $5 billion. Okay, and we have gone into market cap of 50 billion. So you are working with a company which is well-renowned, well-respected, and everybody loved the product. Now I will come into this is a story for you to understand how this was built and how compelling it was and what Cisco expected initially. They can just roll over us and go, but it didn't happen. And today it is too big for anybody to eat. Rather, we can start eating others. This is the situation. Now coming to the next, 1 minute. Yeah. Just to give you a glimpse, how many of you know this? I don't know. This is the growth what we have clocked last year. Arista ANET is my IPO tag, and that is 46% growth. Second is Juniper 13, Cisco is 6%. Other big names in this industry who have grown enough is only Fortinet and Palo Alto. All right. Now this is a huge growth, 46%, which means that at a time like COVID, we are growing at 46%, and you are associated with such a company. Take pride on that. Coming to the right hand side, how many of you know this? I don't know. This is an India market share report. You believe that we are nowhere there. In India, actually, nobody knows about us much. We are small. But still in India, Arista is number 2 in switching. You can see 5.9%. After that, HP comes in. This is enterprise switching report of 2022 Q2 from IDC. All right? So we are there. Only thing is you need to carry us. Coming to the next slide. Where are we currently available? We are available in the data center. So we are known as data center players because the initial focus, as I told you, was creating this 100 gig, which was 100 gig was a big thing at that time. 10 gig and 100 gig was big in 2004-5 time. And that is where Ken Duda came out and said we can create it, right? And we created it, we focused this big players, and we today have all the global cloud players except Amazon. They do their own switching. GCP is on us, and our biggest customer is Azure. Meta. You know Meta, right? Your Facebook, right? And just now I was hearing somebody was talking about SpaceX. My customer, they are yet to get them as a customer, but SpaceX recently released 150 million on us. Okay? Tesla on us. Okay? Oracle on us. Apple on us. You name the company. Today's date, if the data center is there, Cisco gets a second fiddle treatment from them. The first choice for everybody is on Arista. Only issue, as you all know, is on deliveries. If we are not able to deliver, then they give the option to Mellanox, or they go to Cisco, or to Juniper as the last option. So be bold enough to say, carry this product Arista, speak to any customer who needs a data center or a core, 100% acceptability is there. There is a myth or kind of a feeler that we are very expensive. But then we do, for the product quality, you need to pay. But not that we are headstrong that in a case where there is competition attacking us, we will still insist that we need a premium, we need so much of money, and then only we will give. No. If you carry us and we find a reasoning behind that ask, our management supports that. Now coming to the share, if you see over here, the 100G share currently on the modular is 50.8, and Cisco where it is, you please see. And when it comes to fixed, you know what is a modular and a fixed, right? Chassis and the pizza box what you carry, right? These two. So this is the share what we carry on 100 gig, and when it moves to 400 gigs, see the skew. It is 90% with us and 47.7 with us. Huge skew towards us. And if it moves to 800, we are the only company currently who can give an 800 gig speed also. And in that, maybe 95 or 98 would be with us. Or maybe some unbranded somebody might be giving a few. Now coming to why do customers choose Arista? So there are all these points what are mentioned over here are the reason. However, I've captured few of the things as sales guys when you go to the market and when you talk, what can be compelling to the customer for considering Arista. So there are points like the WIPS, which is there, the quality standards, the automation, okay, the licensing model what we carry, the support infrastructure what we have, okay, the simplicity and the operating system. Now I will take one by one. The first thing on the quality standards. See, everybody talks of quality standards, but why we specifically say, okay, quality, nobody will say I'm an inferior in quality. But here there is a difference. When they speak of quality, what Ken Duda says is quality begins with the culture. The culture, what is the meaning of a culture? See, many times what happens is that in networking industry, there are times when firmware upgrades are scheduled. And those schedules, everybody are forced to. The R&D is pushed forward that you meet the deadline and I give you a bonus. And they tend to neglect some of the unfinished bugs or issues and then still roll it out so that the deadlines are met and also the bonuses for the people are given. Now, Arista has formed a culture by which even all the R&D companies give such kind of deadlines, and meeting the deadlines, lot of incentivization towards it. We are one company where there is no incentive for meeting the deadline, because we don't see that as a necessity that you just in a hurry roll out one firmware upgrade or a software upgrade and get into a problem with a customer who is running quite smoothly, and then tomorrow come back and say that after the firmware upgrade there is a problem. I have seen in my previous organization, if you call up a TAC, the first point what TAC would say you is that, have you upgraded yourself into the latest firmware? This is the first question what a TAC will ask. You know what is a TAC, right? Technical Assistance Center. Okay. Now, many customers before upgrading used to call the sales and say that your TAC has told me to upgrade. I'm very scared. If I upgrade, what all issues will start? Right? This is a reality. I have worked 23 years in this domain. I have been with other OEMs also. I know that this is a big issue with all OEMs, because when you do that and you see a bug, that is when our backend also understands, oh, there is a bug, and start working on it. Now, here is a quality concern what is differentiating us, that there is no compulsion to roll out any firmware upgrade, and if we are rolling it out, it is only after every bug has been fulfilled, every team says that they have got sufficient time to fulfill their responsibility, and then the lead decides that the rollout is going to happen. So we don't have very frequent firmware or software upgrades. Similarly, today's date, we run somewhere close to 70,000 tests daily basis on our operating system, and it is possible. It is not a bloated figure. It is possible because we have only one operating system. Whether it is wireless, wired, the campus switching, whether it is data center, everywhere it is one single operating system. So it is a culture what has been formed of quality. The architecture what has been built is again on the quality. Why it will come on the next slide. And there, as I told you, there is extensive testing which keeps on happening on a daily basis. Because of this, there is a huge differentiation between the other operating systems and what is there with Arista. And that is why people love to use Arista. It is very steady, and there is no problem that you will have a downtime at all. Now, coming to the second point of why we are on a Linux operating system. What we have built, Linux kernel, a system database is there. In every other operating system, even on Linux, they customize the operating system. Once they customize, they form some codes like this. To make it simpler for sales guys, this we call it a spaghetti code. Spaghetti code, as you know, it's like a noodles, right? One tangled into the other, and one spaghetti, one you pull, and the other one will also come along with it. So the earlier system of coding was that if you are having an issue with EIGRP, ISIS also will go down, or IGMP will go down. But actual issue would have been only with EIGRP. Now, what differentiation what we have built in our operating system is that there is a kernel, and everything reports a state into the sysdb in the center. So what happens is it is not interconnected. You can kill one application by itself and reboot that application at the same status where it was left at the time it was killed. It is just like Control-Alt-Delete, what you hit in your laptop, take one process and kill that process, the laptop doesn't go down. And then you again restart that process, right? It starts with the same place where it was. This was not possible in networking. This is what Arista has brought up with our operating system. So this is the big differentiation which is making the life simpler for all these cloud players, and that is the reason that everybody loves to use Arista. Coming to this, again on the quality, you see this, this is called a common vulnerability exposure, CVEs. What is CVE? Oh my God, my time is almost up, but I'm sorry, I'll have to take 5-10 minutes more. So CVE is common vulnerability exposures, which you can get in the Google itself. You just go and Google it. Every OEM's vulnerability, it's a public data which is available. When you take the others, you can see the number of vulnerabilities which is hitting their operating system. You see what is there in the last 2015 to 22. You have got only 16 bugs found for Arista's operating system. This is huge difference from a Juniper or a Cisco which runs in 300s. Okay, now the same is applicable in my Wi-Fi, but of course we accept the fact that my presence on Wi-Fi is not as much as what I can talk about the switching. But even there, we are so careful that my operating system is so bug free and the operation is so smooth. So this is again another quality measure which differentiates it. Then comes on to the support infrastructure. Let me first talk about the NPS. This is called Net Promoter Score. We have the industry's highest Net Promoter Score. The Net Promoter Score is an index which shows that if somebody is using your product, what are the likely chances of him recommending it to another customer. Currently in the industry, this is generally highest with the consumer products or the products like your Coca-Cola. Coke has got a NPS of 72. We had last year 74 and this year we have got 80, which means that an user of Arista, 80% likely chance for him to repeat it or recommend it to another customer. Similarly, you come on the support infrastructure. We don't outsource our support to any other organization. If you take HP, Aruba, this is outsourced to a company called /support, which is now CSS Corp. Okay, same Cisco, even HCL is there, Agilent or somebody else was also there. So there is every OEM in the industry outsources their tax support. Now, when you outsource the tax support, the quality drops because the number of tickets what they handle is paid by the OEM. So the number of tickets have to reduce. You cannot agree to the more number of support tickets. So there is a quality issue which is coming over there. Secondly, here in every other OEM, you have a tiered support. That is, once you call, it goes first into the level 1, level 2, level 3 and level 4 is called the R&D. Now in Arista, we don't have these levels at all. The guy who takes the call, and on an average it is 18 seconds to 30 seconds within the call will get answered, and that engineer who picks up the call handles from an L0, which is just a complete failure and a dispatch of a material, or it has got a higher end bug fix which has to be done. Everything would be handled by the same engineer who took the first call, which means that everybody is an in-house employee, everybody is trained on all the product, as well as that the customer doesn't have the issue of repetitive telling of the same story on the each level when it gets handed over to the next tier. So this is where, again, on the support side, Arista is considered to be far superior to all other OEMs in the industry. Coming to the build, the biggest thing is, while we only use Broadcom and Qualcomm chipset, Qualcomm on the wireless and Broadcom on the this thing, and Intel based, there are few switches which are required, and that where programmability is required, we use Intel. Other than that, we don't use anything else. There are so many Maverick chipsets, so many cheap chipsets available. Even when there is a issue of delivery in the market, we have not compromised on chipset to improve upon the deliveries. All right. We also today manufacture the lowest latency switch in the industry, okay, and the highest buffer in the industry. So when you have a storage solution where you need deep buffer, it comes to Arista. When you have low latency trading applications which are running, then also it comes to Arista. So NSEs, BSEs, banking applications all come to Arista. Also, on the manufacturing side, we don't manufacture in China. We only manufacture in Malaysia, then in Mexico and in US. All right. So that again shows on the hardware quality as well. Coming on to the operating system, it is consistent operating system from the data center or to the wireless or to the wired on the campus as well. Consistent data management, the same NetDL is working all across in all the switches on, and all these are managed through a single management console which is called CloudVision. This is different with Cisco or with Aruba or with Juniper. Everybody has a blend of something goes on the cloud, something comes on the premise. No, for us everything is on a single operating console which is called CloudVision. It can go on cloud, it can be on the premise as well, and the same console. Lastly, this is another big advantage what we have, that is on our licensing. We call it as honor-based licensing. What is an honor-based licensing? A customer who wants to buy and today is not aware that how much of expansion he will need tomorrow. He keeps expanding and he says that I need to run an EVPN or a VXLAN in the system. Now, whether it is a Cisco, Juniper or Aruba, they will say that day one you need to start buying the license. All right? But we don't insist on that. The customer can use all licenses without paying for it day one. Now, today he is not finding a value in using that license. He says, I'm not buying it. He expands to another 3 more locations and now it is a bigger network what he is going to have. VXLAN he is going to run or a EVPN he is going to run. Now he needs to buy a license. Again, to enable it, he doesn't need to buy the license. He can immediately go and start enabling it, see how the network is functioning. Once it is happy for him, he can come and regularize it in our system. Again, it will not stop working even if they don't buy. Only issue would be that if he goes for a TAC support, TAC will say that you don't have a licensed version available with you. That's all. But it is very simple for every customer. There is no compulsion and we don't force upon anyone to go and buy a license on day one. This is the portfolio. While you all hear us as only as a data center player, no, it is wrong. We have a complete range of campus switching, complete range of the wireless. Added to that, we have something called network detection and response. NDR is also there. We have recently acquired a company called Untangle, which is a firewall product. That is also there. So we have complete end-to-end. Just now we have launched NAC, which is Agni. ClearPass Policy Manager is of Aruba. ForeScout is another product to compete and ICE of Cisco. So to counter the ICE of Cisco, we have launched Agni, right? So Agni is also coming. With Agni, as iValue, you should be so proud that whether you want a security product, a network security product, whether you want a tap aggregator switch, you want a core switch, you want a data center switch, you want a campus switch, you want wireless, everything is available today in Arista, end to end. There is no gap now. Even routing is available. Enterprise routing is there. The telco grade routing is also available with us. We work with Vodafone, we work with Airtel. So to call out some names, we have big names like ICICI, 100 crore, 4 data centers were recently migrated to Arista. We have Federal Bank with us. We have KCCL, which is a ISP in Kerala, who has bought a through you. I think your order only. It is your order. Congrats to you. And that is the first India's 400 gig network. Okay. Even in Asia, it would be the first one, an ISP running complete backbone on a 400 gig. So the complete portfolio is available for you. All this advantages, what I told you, is there. And lastly, just as a point, what would be your sweet spot? Let me tell you, the sweet spot for you might not be the data center. Because when it comes to the data center, there is a lot of friction that a partner only going and talking and selling, unless you are so technically capable, that the transaction might not happen between you and the customer. But there is a big market available for you to talk about the campus. So what I have captured over here is just a simple BOM, bill of material of Aruba against Arista. On the wireless, when I am taking an AP controller, a license, mobility master, UXI device, UXI license, Meridian, Central, which is their management console, and then all these supports what they give, I will altogether have 1, 2, 3, 4 line items. Any day, if we can really talk to a customer and explain this to them, we will easily be able to beat them on price and performance, because Aruba will not position UXI device, Meridian, etc. because it is very expensive for them. But on the contrary, in my CV license, Cloud Vision license, all these are inbuilt. Whether the customer needs it or not, we are anyway giving it to them. So they can use it. When they buy the normal license to connect their AP and start working in this enterprise environment, they will get automatically a user experience insight, which is their product, we call it, and you will also get to know the location-based services also, the people roaming around. So all these services are available. Now coming on to the switching, when you take a partial PoE availability with Aruba, I have all my switches with full PoE. When you take a partial multi-gig switching with them. We have all switches with full multi-gig. They have multiple operating system. Some would be their old HP operating system, some would be Aruba operating system, then they have something called OS CX which is coming in. So multiple operating systems, same with Cisco, Catalyst is there, Nexus is there, multiple things are there with them as well. We go with only single operating system which is called EOS, and I explained the superior features of EOS. There is, on the hardware side, complete non-blocking architecture only Arista will work on. Again, that is why the speeds and feeds, nobody can beat us. And coming on to the positioning, we don't have the low end. We are not also seen as a low end off the shelf product at all. When you go and talk, the first objections what I have written over here, of course there is VXLAN, EVPN, they can't even bring in all these features in their switches. We will have in all the switches all these features. On the basic elementary 16 port switch or a 12 port switch also will have these features. Now people will say, with all these features, will you not become expensive? That would be the next question. So the general objections what I have written is cost would be one. So as I told you, we are not very stubborn. Please bring it up. We will work together. We will find a cost for it. We will represent to the management, take an approval, and we will beat this price barrier. Of course, even Sunil yesterday, day before, called me and said, Pradeep, it is all fine. Your price is too high. He was a customer there and telling me that your price is high for your own network. But anyway, finally he released me the PO. So now, lifetime warranty, this is LTW. LTW will come up in many of the cases where you go, especially with Aruba. Cisco has also got limited lifetime warranty. But let me tell you, in our case also, if the AP is bundled with the subscription, as long as you are giving the subscription, you get the warranty for the hardware also. So the communication is important. When you talk about communication, when you talk about the points, then at that time customer understands that this is fair to apple match. All right, so the opportunity has to be unearthed. That is more important. Gartner quadrant, again they will say in the campus we are not there, but we are the leader in Forrester as well as Gartner in the data center piece. Now a data center player who has been excelling over there, coming into the campus, it is like lower in the value chain. The only difference was that we came quite recently. That is why we are still in the challenger. In a year or two, we will surely move over there. Today we do 500 to 600 million in campus. Very soon it will move to 1 billion, and then we are there in the leadership quadrant as well. Now coming to interoperability, what they speak, you please say that there is no customer till date where you can see that it is a green field what we have worked on. Everybody is a migration, whether it is from Cisco or a Juniper or from an Aruba. So we have been working like that. People are happy with it, and we don't have any proprietary protocols. We work on open standards. So it is, as long as your network is an open standard, we are also clean to work on that, and we give that guarantee. Assurance would be given by Arista. Coming to the support, I explained you already. Channel partner is our weakness. So this is where you need to value add. Bring in the good channel partners, bring in this discussion, unearth the opportunity, bring up these superior features what we are carrying, and then if you show this some amount of availability what we should build in the wireless at least, I think then we have a case to overcome these objections and ensure that there is a large scope of us to build Arista. When we build Arista, obviously we build iValue. So there is a huge scope right now available. Please gear up, start talking about Arista, carry this portfolio with you, be very confident that it is not a anywhere inferior product. Be very confident that it is one of the leading OEMs in the industry of networking. Once you start talking confidently, I'm sure that you will be able to see more and more opportunities, and we would be able to see more successes as well. All right. With that, I think that's all what I have. Thank you very much.